Our next two guests are mother and daughter. As Nellie Boswell in Carla Lane's hit comedy Bread, Jean Boht became a national treasure. Still going strong, she's teamed up with her daughter, Hannah Davis, to star in the film Mothers and Daughters.
Father Hennessy's good looking, isn't he? I always thought, make a good catch if he wasn't a priest. All the men love me. I used to be so pretty. It's a shame you took after your father.
Please welcome Jean Boht and Hannah Davis. Now, Jean, we just saw you there, obviously, in Mothers and Daughters. Is that on DVD now? It was actually released as a film a few years ago. How difficult was it working with your daughter?
Well, it was very interesting because it was great. Because she'd been with me all my theatrical life, I used to take her along, and so she was always watching me work, and then she became an actress herself, went to drama school and studied in America. And so being an actress, she knew how to work with another actor, and I felt it was not my daughter.
Put up with you.
Yeah, had to put up with me. And I mean, so we just worked well together.
As a director, you had to tell your mum what to do all the time.
Well, she was really good. She really, because we wrote it for her.
Oh, and,
right. You know, so we were like, this is you, Mum. Is it all right? And she was like, yes, that's fine. So, and you were very good, and she made the sandwiches for the crew.
Oh,
no. You can't ask for more than that from your mother.
Hannah,
really.
how did the whole thing come about? Because it was your baby, if you like, wasn't it? The whole project.
It really was. Well, I'm always fascinated with, also because it's a female subject, there's not a lot of that explored on film with a load of male directors and writers, and I thought there was a really worthy subject to have a look at. So it initially came about that I was just thinking, oh, I just want some women to tell me their stories. And so they did, and they came along, and we all sat on the couch, and we had lots of cups of tea, and we all had lots of biscuits, and they told me their stories. And through that kind of process, me and my husband ended up writing a script.
And this was all based on, you put almost like an advert out there saying, I want to hear your life.
Yes, it was an ad on the internet, and hundreds of ladies. Oh, it was swamped. It was. I could have actually done that for the next 5 years.
And it's fairly racy as well. I mean, there's some fairly taboo topics that you touch on.
Well, we thought we'd really go out there and really, you know, explore all the different aspects of a mother and daughter relationship, sex, all other different aspects.
Did you find that a bit
of
difficult? Because there was drugs in there, affairs in
yes,
there.
Yes.
Did you find that? Yeah.
Well, she's a marvellous mother. This has been. She's
Jean,
so
did you
good.
find that difficult? Talking about the affairs, the sex, the drugs.
Well, yeah, because I mean, kids never think their parents do anything. They don't do it, do they?
No, only the one.
Not. But I could be objective about it and remove myself from almost a personal thing about it, and bringing Hannah up and getting her used to behave. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it, really, you know. So
and
I don't know how you cope with it.
How was it playing someone with Alzheimer's? That must have been fairly difficult.
Yes, I've always played old ladies ever since I started work in the theatre in the 60s. I've always played old ladies, you see. Quite by accident, first of all, because somebody old at the Liverpool Playhouse left the cast. I had to step in and play old ladies, and I went on playing them forever. And I thought I'd still be playing them now, but no, there's too many of us. We're still alive. We should get rid of us. Anyway, but Alzheimer's, I had observed, when being on tour, particularly when actors go out in a play and you go and visit old people's homes, and I'd also had a friend who had a breakdown, and I went to the local sort of home in, where is it, in London. And I could see all these people, what happens when they have dementia or Alzheimer's. And so I observed that, and how it upset me that my friend, who just had a minor nervous breakdown, was mixed in with serious cases of dementia and Alzheimer's. And they mainly sort of sat around and did nothing at all, just stared all day. And then Hannah had done a film, which we'd won into an old people's home in Cambridge. What was that called? Day in the Life?
Life in a Day. That was the first short film that David and I ever did. Was all in a psychiatric hospital, because that's his background. He grew up. His dad was a hospital chaplain, and so he really studied that. We wrote a script for that, and that was just a little short. And he's very good and really observational, so that when we kind of started to tackle the bigger kind of picture of Alzheimer's, that was a great he had all the references. We knew that we were right, and it was all right.
Hannah, can I just say, because your mum's just spoken now, how did you get on working with your mother? Did you get on with her really well? What are the differences between you?
I was actually worried that we wouldn't. I think that you must have been worried that I wouldn't.
Oh,
and
I didn't
it must have
know
been
that.
weird for you. That's what I was thought. It would be weird for you to be directed by your daughter.
I didn't even think of you as my daughter at the time.
Then that was the director, wasn't it?
It is different.
It must be very difficult.
It is, no, it's different.
To be
it's
told
different
what to do.
because the two of them were there anyway, and also because of the way Hannah works, so you improvise a lot in character. And her trend, she had been in a film with Mike Leigh, who then lets his characters create the roles, and then he decides what you do for the film. And that's how Hannah works, and she's just, you know, Stanislavski trained and all that sort of thing. So it was my idea, and I worked with Joan Littlewood, where you create your roles, you know. So it was, she exactly thinks in the same way as I do. So, I mean, you just present the character and a thought, what you're going to say or do, and then they decide whether or not that fits in. Also, Caroline Cook, who plays my daughter in the film, absolutely brilliant. And her mother had dementia. And so she helped me a lot as to how far I could go. Because, I mean, there's so many different elements of dementia and Alzheimer's. I mean, some people are very bright and jolly, then they go dead. And the one aspect that I thought perhaps I didn't guess when I look at it, I don't usually watch it, but I had to watch it, didn't I? It's my daughter's film.
Can I very quickly ask you, what have you got planned for Mother's Day, both of you?
Oh, we're going to my sister Jessie's, who's got
we're going to cook her.
And we're supposed to be cooking, I think, is the plan, and she doesn't do anything, although whether that actually happens.
I find that difficult to believe.
Yes.
It's lovely to see you both. It's Jean Boht and Hannah Davis. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you. Loads more still to come this lunchtime, including our thoughts on money versus sex. Back soon.